a human person says that this particular sin that I have committed is too serious, is too big, in such a way that God cannot forgive it. And the human person decides not to go to God to ask for forgiveness. In this world and in the world after, that sin will not be forgiven. So the sin against the Holy Spirit is not any particular sin that you commit. It's not any particular sin that you commit. But the sin against the Holy Spirit is when you limit God's power to forgive you. There are some people who will say, Bishop, Father, the bad one don't do a big so they my hot man that is shame. Papa can forgive me so. The Catechism mentions in paragraph 982 that there is no offense, no matter how serious the offense, that if the penitent comes to God with a humble and contrite heart and asks God for forgiveness, that God will not forgive. So when we are talking about the sin against the Holy Spirit, anyone who blasphemes against the Holy Spirit, that sin will not be forgiven here or even in the world after, which means in purgatory. It's when you limit God's power to forgive you. And you do not come to tell him you are sorry because you think that he doesn't have the power to forgive you. Then that sin will not be forgiven in this life and in the life to come. Because the only opportunity you have to make that sin be forgiven is to be converted. It is to be converted, to change from what you are doing, to recognize the compassion and the mercy of God, and in a spirit of total humility, to come to God and say, Papa, this is me. And that is why in front of God, there is nothing we should hide. Because there's nothing we are coming to tell God that he doesn't know about it. And sometimes I used to ask Christians, is there any sin that God cannot forgive? And of course, they will quote Matthew chapter 12, verse 31, the sin against the Holy Spirit. And I'll say, go and read the Catechism in paragraph 1864 that talks about the sin against the Holy Spirit, which is limiting or reducing God's power to forgive you. Then you do not come to him to say you are sorry. If you die like that sin has not been forgiven here, and even in purgatory, it will not be forgiven, because if you die with mortal sins in your soul, you will go to hellfire. So, God has given us the opportunities at our disposal in such a way that even though we say sin came into the world, death came into the world through sin, Jesus has transformed that sin and conquered it. And that's why the church does not encourage us to sin. But the church knows that we can sin. And that's why Jesus gave the sacrament of reconciliation. That we should be able to come to our conscience, examine our conscience. How is my relationship with God? How is my relationship with my brothers and my sisters? How am I living with them? Are there positive aspects of that relationship? Are there aspects of that relationship which are negative? Can I let the negative part go so that I uphold the path that will lead me to blessedness? And the ball, as you say, at the end of the day, the ball lies in your court and in my court. Because the church talks to us every day. The church talks to us every day. And I am one of those people who I like talking about death, even my own death. Because something can happen to me anytime. And sometimes we are afraid to talk about death as if it's something strange. It's not strange. It's something in our midst. Every day it happens. And we practice death every day when we sleep. Each time you go to bed and you are sleeping, you are practicing how you die. Because when you go and fall on the bed, you know what is happening to you. You fall like that, you cover your eye, you are sleeping, you don't even know where you have gone to. Then when you discover maybe there's a bird singing outside, you jump from your bed, you come back to activity. Where have you been? So, the point we are saying is that there is no offense, no matter how serious it is, that we come to God with the penitent heart that God will not forgive.